I don't want to die.
Good afternoon everyone, welcome to our pre-match press conference to preview our game against Brighton. We'll start off with Vinny from Sky.
David, I believe it's your 700th game as a Premier League manager. How does that make you feel?
I've just been told that actually, and I think to myself it's incredible really. When you start out, I don't think you ever believe that you're maybe never going to become a Premier League manager, but to get 700 games behind me now, it's a fair achievement. So very pleased. There's two great managers ahead of me in Arsene and Alex, but I don't think I'll be making their numbers, that's for sure.
You're up against the youngest manager in the Premier League at the moment as
Yeah.
well this weekend. I'm just looking at the age difference, it's 30 years, and when you first took over here at Everton,
Yeah.
the oldest manager then was Sir Bobby Robson. Again,
Yeah.
the difference between the two was 30.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing at that time. I think I was the youngest one when I came in at that time as well, and I remember Sir Bobby giving me a few wise words as well, and so it's amazing how it's changed around, and I've been really fortunate, really lucky in my career that I've been given the opportunities to be at clubs and get 700 games.
Didn't Sir Bobby give you a welcome to the Premier League after
He
they
did
beat you?
actually, yeah. Sir Bobby said to me, you know, we lost quite heavily at Newcastle, and we had actually won the first couple of games, the opening games when I took over. I think he must have thought that I felt it was a bit easier, you know, and he did. He said to me, you know, it's welcome to the Premier League for David Moyes. So, and quite right, and I listened to him right away because I went, oh, this is the real deal. I've got to get my act together here.
And now you've made changes to your backroom staff with Alan Irvine coming in. What's it like to be working with Alan once again?
Well, it's great to have Alan back, you know. But I've got Billy, I've got Alan, I've got Bainsey, I've got Charlie. They're all my assistants, you know. So they'll all be given the same title. They'll all be working under me. They'll all be delegated with certain roles and jobs to do behind the scenes. But I think more importantly, I've got great trust in Alan and his loyalty and how he performs and how he works. And I've been with Billy for so long now. He knows me inside out. So it's really important that I do have people, especially I think with the situation we're in and where we are as a club at the moment. Let's get it done and try and get to the end of the season and make sure that we're a Premier League team.
What's Hill did with Charlie as well as set piece coach?
Well, there is no such thing actually as there's no coaching courses to become a set piece coach. You know, people train themselves up and I think it will become something. I've got to say, probably all the associations will be looking at in the future. But I think I was always looking for somebody who would be good at, you know, understanding deliveries, understanding, you know, striking in the ball, etc. But it's just a part of the job which, if you can give it over and pass it over and delegate it in some way, and I just felt that Charlie's into the summer. We'll see how he does in the meantime, and hopefully we can score a few more goals if possible.
Looking at delivery from set pieces as well, any update on Dwight McNeil and where he's at?
Yeah, I've got a little bit update in Dwight. It looks like Dwight's probably going to have some surgery on his knee. Today he's not. Today he's tried, so it looks like we're probably going to have to get him back to the specialist and see. I'm saying surgery, it might be they decide something else, but he's going to go back and see the specialist again.
How much of a blow do you look at that?
Well, it's a real blow because we need him back for things like deliveries and set pieces, but we need him back for his general play. And by all accounts, everybody's told me he's performed really well for Everton recently. So not to have him just now is a big blow.
You said you were playing catch up when it came to recruitment. So have you been able to catch up now, and how likely do you feel it is that you'll be able to?
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up where we are. But I'm also finding out a lot more about maybe some restrictions and things that we can do and we can't do. But overall, look, I'm still pretty hopeful that we'll make additions before the end of the window. That's for sure. You never want to promise it, but I'm quite confident we'll try and get something done before then.
Just on Breuer, I mean, if he were to go back, it obviously frees up a loan deal, a domestic loan deal for you. But has any firm decision been taken this year?
At the moment, I don't think there's a firm decision been taken, but I think what you're suggesting in the conversations we've had, that is a possibility. But at this moment in time, it's not confirmed quite yet.
With positives, we saw Tim Irabinum back training. Obviously, the week before it was James Garner.
Yeah.
I think James probably got more of a chance for this weekend than Tim, but where are they?
Yeah, correct. James is a wee bit further on than Tim at the moment, but Tim's been back in training the last 3 or 4 days. Jimmy's been back in and around training as well. You know, in an ideal scenario, you would be trying to give them as a couple of under 21 games if possible and get them some more practice. But you know, if we need to use them, then I would do, and you know, they'll not be too far away because I just need them back in and around the squad to give me that little bit more depth.
As you look to build on that win over Spurs as well, what's been your message to the players? Because you looked at the Spurs game and someone like Jesper, a marked difference in his performance against Spurs to what we'd seen before. And that was probably acknowledged in the reception he got as well. But it seems across the board that your message is not taken very long to get across anyway.
Well, I have to say, I think the players have done brilliantly well. They've been well drilled by Sean before I came in as well. but they want to work. They want to try and get better. You know, they're not enjoying the position they're in. I thought they performed really well against Tottenham, especially for the best part of 60 minutes. I thought we were very good. We probably ran as far as we've done in any game this season, which is always a good indication that the players are at it. But I think the players have started really well. But Jesper, for example, I thought showed a lot, got a couple of assists, and the team had played really well. Jesper was a big part of that. But overall, I was thrilled with how the team performed. We need to show a little bit of consistency now. We know that's one win. We're going to certainly need a few more before we're in a safe position.
So finally, for me, how do you assess the test that you've got this weekend away at Brighton?
Well, the test at Brighton's is as tough as it comes, really, because obviously, you know, there's 3 or 4 other big clubs. You could be going to Arsenal, you could be going to Liverpool, you could be going to Chelsea, and they would be seen as huge tests. But I think if you look at Brighton nowadays, I think Brighton have been a big test for every club every time they go. I think the performances, the managers, the new managers settled in incredibly well. I think he was left a really good group of players and a group of players who play in a certain way, which is worked very well.
Thanks, Vinny. We'll go to Stuart at Premier League Productions.
Hi, David.
Hi there.
Away wins have obviously been hard to come by for Everton this season. I just wonder how you solve that issue.
Well, this is my first away game, so I'm not quite sure yet if I've got the answer to that. But I think there's a lot of football we're seeing in the Premier League. You know, you're going to have to suffer at different times. We'll certainly will have to do that against Brighton because of their ability with the ball. And I think over the years, Everton have been pretty good. I think if you look at the draws they've picked up recently, away, I think it was away at Arsenal and away at Chelsea, was it? Or away at City, yeah, we've had some good draws from those games. So I think the basis there is if we can try and be hard to beat, hard to play against. But obviously, what we want to do is we just started to do is create more chances, give ourselves more chances of winning the game by the opportunities.
You mentioned Charlie Adam coming on board as well, and I just wonder if that shows how important set pieces really are in the Premier League, delivery of set pieces at both ends of the field.
Well, it's huge if you can get. I mean, obviously, I mentioned earlier that there isn't probably a set piece coaching course at the moment, if you want to put it that way. But there's a lot of coaches who've developed into it. They put huge amount of work into it. They study. They look. They look at how the opposition. They're looking at the practices of some of the really good teams. So I'm going to ask Charlie to do the same and help us a little bit. I hope we can do it. I mean, obviously, it's very difficult to score from set pieces if you don't have a really good deliverer. You look at the quality Declan Rice is putting in at the moment for Arsenal. It's nearly on the money every time he's delivering it. And I have to say, us losing Dwight McNeil is a real blow. So sometimes you can say your set piece coach isn't very good at it, but maybe before you even get to the fine details, maybe the delivery doesn't work quite as good. So look, we're giving him a go. We're giving Charlie a go to see if he can help us. And if we could score another 2 or 3 goals from set pieces between now and the end of the season, it'll help our goal tally and hopefully help us get more points.
Just finally on the impact of the Spurs win, just on the club this week, just in morale, in terms of mood, on players and staff, what that has done in the last week.
Well, I can only say because I've only been in a week, but I've got to say it felt really good coming in this week because it was to win it against Tottenham. And you mustn't forget how good a side Tottenham are. Tottenham are a really, really good side, and especially their attacking play, which they showed at different times. So for us to get a good positive result at Goodison was really helpful, and I think it's given everybody a lift. As I said, we need to try and find a way of building on it and sort of keeping it in a bit of stability with it as well.
Thanks, Stuart. We'll go to Julia.
Yeah.
On that theme, Dominic had been desperate for a goal and he'd been struggling to get one and getting that goal. Have you seen a difference in him this week, and what does that do to a striker to finally get a goal after a bit of a dry spell?
I think I have seen a difference. No, it would be easy to say no, I've not, but I think I have. I think there's just a wee bit more of the eye of the tiger. I think I've looked at him a wee bit and I think, you quite enjoyed, he got rightly praised for his performance at the weekend. I was still saying he should have probably scored a couple more, and we talked about it as well. But maybe a wee bit of tough love with him as well, needs to be told, but also needs to be given the confidence and shown that, look, you can do it. You've got all the capabilities. If I'm a centre forward, I wouldn't be complaining about the opportunities that the team have made him in the last couple of games. He's been given 3 or 4 really big chances, so he's taken one. We'd like him to take more and hope that he keeps playing the way he has done last week.
I was reading some comments from Idrissa Gana Gueye this week as well. He was talking about working with you since you've come in, and he had a great performance against Tottenham as well. As somebody who has been there, done it, he's a leader in his qualities. Is he the type of player you look to right now to lead some of them when it's difficult?
Well, I think his experience for us just now will be hugely important. I think he does great for his age. He covers the ground. He does a lot of good things. So I do, and I think at this period in time we need a bit of experience to make sure we can try and get ourselves through any of the difficult moments. But you're right. I think he's played well in the last couple of games as well. I think he done a good job against Aston Villa, and he done in the main a really good job against Tottenham as well.
You just said there you're hopeful to make some additions. Were those targets already here by the club? And I guess I'm asking, how are you working with the director of football? Who has that final say?
I agree. Most of the targets have already been in this. Obviously, I've come in and I've been able to throw my tuppence worth in and around it and see some things and look and. But the people here have been the ones who've been working on it probably for the last 3 or 4 months. So I'm listening to them, seeing what they've got to do. But in the past, we've always signed players here at this club which have gone on, been either great characters. They've been people who've had longevity at the club. You know, I hope the people we brought in the past had a wee bit of DNA connection with this club and what we would want. So I'm keen to involve all that back into what we're bringing in. But obviously we're in such a short period to try and get that right. It makes it quite difficult. No, you don't get much time to see them. But I hope that we are able to bring a couple of players in. We need it. We'll need to add a couple of players in the squad. That's my feeling.
Can I just check on the fitness of Seamus, and is there any other no new injuries?
Well, Seamus isn't available. I've said Dwight isn't available, and the other ones are just as it is. So apart from that, I think everything's much the same.
Will Seamus still travel though, given his leadership?
I hope he is travelling. Actually, I never checked that out just now, but I think Seamus is probably travelling with us. Yes.
Thanks, Julia. We'll go to Will.
Hi, David.
Hi there.
Just when it comes to recruitment, is it a bit of a balancing act, say, getting in someone experienced but maybe hasn't played a lot in the first half of the season, take a bit of time, compared to someone like an Ernest Newman who'll be coming in as raw, and you've got to hone them if you ultimately got to weigh up what will be better?
Well, the other part of the last player, he said he's never played in the Premier League before, he's never been here, so you have to weigh that up as well. So all those bits add into, you know, one day you go, yeah, that's good. Another day you think, no, maybe not. Another, so it's the deliberating, and we're pretty well sort of worked, and we're ready for what we think we're going to do. We're just trying to get things in a row and hopefully line things up for the coming week or so.
When you were in your first spell, you dipped into the Championship a few times, and that was really fruitful. Is that still an option, do you think, or is that?
I always believe that, you know, your own academy or the Championship, you know, players in the main hopefully come from there. I know that we're in a world now where we can pick players from probably any continent now to come and play in the Premier League, where a long time ago it wasn't as easy to do so, and you know, maybe people didn't look as far. So we continue to look closer to home, which was the Championship. The Championship last year produced some incredible players come out of the Championship, like Rodgers, Wharton, you know, just to name but two, Philogene possibly. So I think the Championship is always a place we should be looking to see. I think possibly at the position we're in just now, we could probably do with a couple of seasoned players if possible, but if not, we still need to get a couple in to help us with the numbers, etc.
Just a second, your squad, you've only got one senior left back in Vitaly Mikalenko. Is that an area you maybe like a little bit of more competition?
I think if you asked by what accounts, I'm saying in all the Evertonians, I think that we're probably short in the front line. So look, obviously we'd like to add maybe attacking players, maybe another midfield player if possible. But I definitely agree that we would probably like to strengthen it left back if possible, but maybe or have another addition there if possible. But I don't know if I can fit all that in just now. So I'm trying to see what we can do. We may still do something like that, but we still have the possibility of playing Ashley left back. You know, so we have that and as a backup, I suppose.
Just finally for me, you seem like you've rejuvenated Jesper Lindstrom. Is the challenge now to rejuvenate Jack Harrison as well? And what's the message being?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I've sort of rejuvenated Jesper, but he's had one game. The proof will be, as it goes on over the next 4, 5, 6 games, is he going to have an impact for the team? Is he going to play a big part in it? Jack is definitely one who I always liked. Jack when he was at Leeds United. I don't think MD would question his effort or his energy or what he does. I think that he's probably lost some confidence and maybe a wee bit of lack of belief. So we need to bring that back. That might take a little bit longer, but Jesper at the moment, if he keeps his form up, then it'll be good for us.
Thanks, Will. We'll go to Carl at the press.
Hi, David. Just a
Hi there.
quick one to revisit on Dwight McNeil. I know you say he's got to see the specialist again, but do you have any idea sort of the best case scenario would be time-wise?
I have none, and I was only just told this probably half an hour before I came into the press conference that I think he was out this morning on the grass. They were trying to get him going, and he doesn't feel right. So they were always saying if he didn't sort of come through today, then they would take him back to the specialist. So I'm only just relaying what I got probably about half an hour ago.
Okay. But if he had surgery, would you be concerned that would be him for the season?
Well, you know yourself, if you get opened up, you're probably going to be. I don't think there's many people coming back quicker than 46 weeks if you get opened up, and I don't know how. Obviously depending what it was they were doing. My general feeling is what they're saying is they don't feel it's anything so bad. It's not like he's got a cruciate or anything like that. I don't think so. So hopefully he'll be okay.
Thanks, Carl. Any further questions in the open section before we move on? No? Okay, thank you.
David,